Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Maestro, starring Carey Mulligan, Bradley Cooper, Matt Bomer, Maya Hawke, and Sarah Silverman, directed by Bradley Cooper. Now, before I get into this, I have done A Star is Born before as part of the Oscar nominees of the year. I want to say 2017, 18, I forget what year it was. And I'm coming back to Bradley Cooper directing, and I might do his future works. And I must say one more thing. This movie is available to view on Netflix. And before you watch this video, I should say watch this movie on Netflix first, and then get to this video. You have been warned. So let's just get into this movie. We open with Leonard Bernstein as an elderly man and played by the movie's director Bradley Cooper in 1978, playing the piano and showing the TV how it works to be a maestro at it. And he really is a very good pianist. Not pianist, but pianist, in case if anybody gets the wrong idea there. As he's on an interview, and we go back to the year 1946. As he gets a call back, and by he, I mean Leonard, being a conductor for a show at the last minute, and he gets excited about it. And I noticed the sequence in 1946 was in black and white, and it's going to be like in for 45 minutes, just like in Poor Things. But the only difference is Cooper is not using the fish lens at all, like Yorgos Lanthimos did, and the show was a success because he loves the music, and that's quite a patient and passionate expertise, I should rephrase that, and I admire that from Bradley Cooper's performance. We get introduced to David Oppenheim, not Oppenheimer, but Oppenheim, played by Matt Bomer, Bruno Zirato, forgive me if I said that wrong, and Aaron Copland, working together as roommates. And I really do like these characters as they come off like brothers despite their roommates, which won't last very long as we move on to Felicia. Let me see if I'm saying the name right. Montalegre? I don't know if I said that right. Please forgive me. Played by Carey Mulligan, who's an actress on Broadway, meeting with Leonard for the first time at a party with Leonard's sister Shirley, played by Sarah Silverman, as they get to know each other as Leonard is a pianist and Felicia is an actress on Broadway. And despite I'm not a huge fan of Carey Mulligan, she delivers quite a tremendous performance, as does Bradley Cooper and Sarah Silverman, whom at there's times she switches from her regular voice to the character she's supposed to play, but she does turn in some good work in this movie, Sarah Silverman I'm talking about. Felicia takes Leonard to the stage to act with her, and he does act badly, as Leonard is not a good actor, but don't get me wrong, Bradley Cooper is a good actor, but I'm meaning the character he's playing, and a stage manager named Joseph turning on the lights and telling them to lock up at the theater after they're done, as she's terrified to perform in New York City with a giant crowd. And I really do like the chemistry between Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan, as they're successful people in their own way, and the movie is well shot and well made, as it works quite tremendously. Leonard and Felicia hang out at the park and have a good time hanging out with each other, and she talks about how much she loves the smell, as it reminds her of her father. And they have lunch with some people, and the cinematography is very good in this movie. Hell, even the score is very 20th century as far as being back in the 1940s is concerned. While we watch Felicia on stage, which was a charming scene in my opinion. Leonard and Felicia lay in bed together as they're obviously seeing each other, and Leonard tells a secret about her dreams of killing his father when he was a little boy. And she says the name Felicia Burns doesn't suit her at all, but she'll have it eventually, with her last name being Bernstein, when they get married, and he introduces her to David, and they go to a park to be romantic together. And we get to the color scenes as they do get married and have a few kids, 3 to be exact. Felicia is also works in the motion picture business, and they go on live television with someone named Ed, and the interview goes well, as these scenes are great to watch. We move on over the years and he meets with his friends of his whom I never got the names of, and he worries about turning into a zombie because he can't sleep as the family hang out together along with Shirley And they have a party where while Felicia watches Leonard perform as a conductor and raise the kids Jamie, Alexander, and Nina as they have a party. And Jamie, played by Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter Maya Hawke, whom I reviewed earlier this year in Asteroid City, and will review her again in Inside Out 2 as an early teenager, as she gets a job with a friend Harry, let me see if I'm saying this right, Kraut, as they have a party while he's introduced to Tommy and kisses him, while Felicia sees it and is upset about it. And the writing in these scenes are great, but at the same time are very sad to witness on screen. As there's times the movie is charming and there's times the movie is sad. Leonard teaches a music class as a conductor where he's brilliant at it, while Felicia watches him do so along with his mother, and that was magnificently shot. We get to a get together at their house as the West Side Story score comes, and Jamie hears gossip about her father Leonard, where he learns this from Felicia, as he tells her it's not the truth, as he describes it as jealousy, and tells the story of someone who knew him was jealous of his pro music choice. It reminds me of talks with my parents when I was around that age Jamie was at the time into the movie, and it comes close to my heart as it does a good job at telling the life story, while the music is a profession of Leonard. Leonard writes some music at a new piece of music, writes some music as the he made up on his mind, as it's a long one, sure, and as he's finished, Felicia goes in the pool as we get to see it performed on stage. Felicia notices Leonard acting gay by holding a man's hand while married to her, as it turns out she's jealous. And people love it while Felicia is pissed at him. Leonard comes to the house for Thanksgiving and has an argument with Felicia about how much she's fucking pissed at him, to the point they keep interrupting each other until this Thanksgiving parade starts, and says to him he's going to die alone. And this is why I'm not a fan of Carey Mulligan, as there's times she overacts in some movies, like the 2013 version of The Great Gatsby, which was not a great movie anyways, but she just comes off like kind of annoying in my opinion. Leonard teaches a full class and talks with them beforehand, while Felicia acts in some studio projects and meets with Cynthia and her husband, and have a lunch reservation, and Leonard does some cocaine at a party. And this movie has a shitload of party scenes, not to be too criticizing. And he makes a call to Jamie about spending time with her and says he'll talk to Felicia again, while she meets with Shirley. And Jamie, as Felicia, tells Jamie not to leave depressed. And Mulligan bugged me a tad in this scene with the constant interrupting, while the scenes are depressing, sure. Leonard performs as a conductor for a show, and the way Bradley Cooper performs the performers with the music is quite tremendous, as it works great in the scene, and this scene was absolutely phenomenal. Leonard goes with Felicia to the hospital, and she learns she has some kind of tumor on the right side of the left breast, and decides to get the tumor out by the next week, and Felicia is depressed about it, but a tumor, as far as I'm concerned, is a pretty serious situation to go through, and they go outside to the park and play the game they played well when they were younger. And after her surgery, Felicia's head is bald, sure, as that could happen, and as Nina and her husband come to the house, and they talk as she coughs quite a bit until the kids come in, and Leonard plays the piano like it was a wedding of some kind. As they leave, she cries and goes to bed, and Leonard cries and screams on a pillow because he's depressed, while Felicia is cold everywhere, and Jamie lays down with her, as this final half hour is very damn depressing. Like, I felt so bad for Felicia at this point. Nina puts on a song, and she, along with Jamie and Alexander, dance to it until they have a group hug with Leonard and Felicia, which is a heartwarming scene. Leonard surprises Felicia as a doctor keeps her company on their bed, and she looks outside the window as the ocean view until she runs to it, and Leonard goes after her and gets her along with Jamie, and the kids go with their father to a place where, while we go back to the year 1978, and teaches a new group of students to conduct like the way he does, and he goes to a club with one of his students while I'm led to believe Felicia has passed away. And Leonard finishes the interview with the TV by saying, "Any questions?" And we get credits rolling on Felicia and seeing the real Leonard Bernstein conducting some instruments. And this climax is really good. Like, it's great acted, directed, but at the same time, very damn depressing at the end of the day. Now it's time for my rating. I'll give this movie a 8.4 out of 10. I really do like the performances from Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan, as they have a very good chemistry. As they have very good chemistry, and Sarah Silverman, whom at times sounded like herself, and there were times when she sounded like the character she's supposed to play. And the cinematography is very good in this movie, as the score, which felt very 20th century as far as the 1940s, 50s, and 70s are concerned. Some scenes are charming, and some scenes are sad, for sure, and there's some scenes shown to us on screen that are great, and scenes were depressing, and it goes back and forth that way, as the movie is well shot, well made, and Bradley Cooper is a tremendous director from the 2018 version of A Star is Born to this movie, as he's a great director in both movies. I should say a little fun fact before I finish off the rating. Steven Spielberg saw the 2018 version of A Star is Born, and he was going to direct this movie, but until he saw the 2018 version of A Star is Born, he decided, "Bradley Cooper, you get to direct it." And I do like the movie quite a bit, as it works tremendously, but there were times Carey Mulligan bugged me with the constant interrupting, as I'm not the biggest fan of hers. But otherwise, this is a solid recommendation to see how Leonard Bernstein became the conductor slash pianist that he is today. So yeah, give this a watch, as it's a very good film. So I'd like to thank you guys for coming back with me to Bradley Cooper's directorial debut. And until we get there, good evening.